I'm back. So the internet completely went down, and so hopefully I am back and you can see me live. So I apologize. I apologize for the challenges that we're having this morning, and for thank you so much for just being with us here. So I am back. Yay! I danced before, so hopefully that'll be live and it'll just be a little bit of a separate one. But today we are talking about how to be a lifer, and we're going to jump into it right away here. So when we are a lifer, meaning that we've gotten out of that diet mindset and we now have a new way of living around food, and it honestly just becomes part of who you are. It's not a struggle. And I know that can be a challenge too. Tech issues today. It's just so lovely. This is how we work through it. This is how we work through it. Okay, we're going to leave that. So that's not even better. I hope this is entertaining. There we go. All right. This is awesome. I love it. So funny. So funny. So being a lifer, let's talk about that. So being a lifer, we want this to be the way you live for the rest of your life. So the one thing I like to ask clients when they're thinking about this behavior change that I'm making, whatever that might be, because it's very individual, is this something I can do for the rest of my life? And the other thing I love to say is, if you love pizza and you're thinking to heal emotional eating and to, be on the other side of freedom, I need to never have pizza again. That's not actually what healing emotional eating feels like or looks like. Because is it realistic that you're never going to have pizza again, or bread, or chocolate, or wine, or alcohol? Is that realistic that you're never going to have those things again? Unless, of course, there's an alcoholic issue, or that's a completely separate thing that we're not talking about today. But when it comes to setting some realistic expectations around food, we want to think about, if you're thinking about going on a sugar detox, or I just need to get into this all or nothing mindset, I want to encourage you to think of the long term. Think about the end game. How has it been showing up for you in the past when you've done something like that? And we really want this to be where it's a lifer, means that you just take it with you wherever you go. Wherever you go, it's just so ingrained in you that you just make choices. So when I go to a dine out or a meeting, or just living through life, and I don't have the food I've prepared for myself available, I'm able to think very clearly and quickly about what food I actually want to be eating. And I don't have to have this plan. There's not this sense of I have to take this plan with me. And there's not having to think ahead about how I'm going to stay on track. Instead, it's a shift to what foods here that are available will help me feel my healthiest today, will help me feel satisfied, will give me the energy that I need, but not create fatigue or brain fog or exhaustion. So how can I eat that is the most loving way I can eat right now? And that really is what it boils down to, is we make choices one at a time, and we can feel secure in doing that. And that can be scary in the beginning, because there's a lot of security that the diet mindset and following a menu plan can bring. And it is helpful to plan, and then I do menu plan sometimes, but we also want to have a flexible mindset where we don't have to have a menu plan and live by it. We want it to be a guide, a flexible structure is what I like to say. It's very contradictory, but we want to have flexible structure. So it's not too much that it makes you feel trapped, and it's not enough that makes you feel like, I don't know what I'm doing. And so eventually, we just really do want it to be where you can open up your fridge and say, what do I feel like eating? Thinking about what I've already eaten today and how hungry or satisfied I am right now, what does my body really need right now to help me feel my most vitality? And so it comes from a place of love. And so there's a song that there's a song that really inspired this type of mindset, and it goes back to really my childhood. One of my favorite artists is Tina Arena, and she has a song that is "Love is the Answer." And so that song I absolutely love, and it's something that I just really speaks so clearly, where in this journey, really with everything, I'm a firm believer that love is the answer. And sometimes love means setting boundaries with others, with ourselves. But here's the thing, we are not going to be able to set boundaries with ourselves if we don't have a loving, secure connection with ourselves. It'll feel like restriction, it'll feel like deprivation, it'll feel harsh. And so the analogy I like to use with that is thinking about teenagers. I have a couple myself. And so when we think about a teenager, and even thinking about myself when I was a teenager, it's hard sometimes to set boundaries, and they're learning their boundaries. So if we have a relationship with a teenager in our lives that is very unhealthy, that doesn't allow for freedom of expression and freedom of speech or sharing